Let's be honest, you've done it, I've done it. We've all paced our living rooms at 11:58 p.m., staring intently at our wrists while our pets or partners look on with a mixture of pity and confusion. The goal? To hit that magical, almost sacred number 10,000 steps. This arbitrary figure has become a global benchmark for daily activity, a digital gold star we desperately chase. But where did it even come from? It wasn't born from rigorous scientific study or a consensus among medical experts. It was a marketing gimmick for a 1960s Japanese pedometer. Yet here we are, decades later, allowing this ghost of advertising past to dictate our daily routines and, more alarmingly, our definition of what it means to be healthy. The modern fitness tracker has amplified this obsession into a worldwide phenomenon. These sleek devices, strapped to an estimated 1.2 billion wrists globally, promise us a window into our own bodies. They offer data, control, and honestly, the seductive illusion of empowerment. We are told that with enough information, we can biohack our way to perfect health. The problem is, this narrow focus on a single, often inaccurate metric is creating a dangerous blind spot. We celebrate a high step count while potentially ignoring the far more critical pillars of well-being: nutrition, sleep quality, mental health, and the kind of exercise that actually builds strength and resilience. This isn't just a harmless fad, it's a distraction. This video will pull back the curtain on the step-counting mania. We will explore the psychological hooks that keep us tethered to these devices and the flawed data they often produce. We will look at how an over-reliance on simple numbers can provide a false sense of security, allowing serious health issues to go unnoticed. While these trackers certainly have benefits, they can be powerful motivators for a sedentary population. Their limitations are profound and frequently ignored. The goal is not to demonize the technology, but to question our relationship with it. It is time to ask a critical question. Are our fitness trackers guiding us toward genuine health or just leading us in circles? The journey we will take is about reclaiming a more holistic and intuitive understanding of our own bodies. It's about moving beyond the gamified, anxiety-inducing loop of closing rings and hitting arbitrary targets. We need to learn how to use these powerful tools without letting them use us. This means understanding their inaccuracies, recognizing their psychological toll, and consciously choosing to prioritize what truly matters for long-term health. The aim is to transform our relationship with health technology from one of obsessive dependency to one of mindful, informed partnership. Let's step away from the tyranny of the count and walk toward a smarter, more balanced definition of wellness. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more exciting videos like this, and share to spread the word. Now let's dive in. The appeal of step counting is deeply rooted in human psychology. The world already feels chaotic and unpredictable, but these devices offer a powerful sense of control. Each step is a quantifiable action, a tiny victory that accumulates into a tangible result displayed right on your wrist. This is gamification at its most brilliant and addictive. Your daily activity is transformed into a game where you are the main character. You have levels to beat, 10,000 steps, achievements to unlock, like a new badge for a 30-day streak, and a clear, simple objective. This feedback loop provides a hit of dopamine, the same neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, reinforcing the behavior and making you come back for more. This desire for control is coupled with a genuine and honestly commendable desire to be healthier. We are constantly bombarded with messages about the dangers of a sedentary lifestyle, and a fitness tracker feels like a proactive, accessible solution. It simplifies the complex concept of being active into one manageable number. You don't need a gym membership or specialized knowledge, you just need to walk. This accessibility has been a key driver of the technology's explosive growth. As of 2025, with new models like the Garmin VivoActive 6 and Redmi Watch 5 constantly hitting the market, the industry continues to capitalize on our collective health anxieties and our search for simple answers to complex problems. The social component cannot be understated either. Many fitness apps have built-in social networks where you can compete with friends, family, and coworkers. Suddenly, your daily walk is no longer a private activity, it's a public performance. This friendly competition can be a fantastic motivator for some, pushing them to go a little further than they might have otherwise. However, it also adds a layer of social pressure. Falling behind on the leaderboard can feel like a personal failure, transforming a healthy habit into a source of stress. The need to keep up with the digital Joneses can override your body's own signals to rest and recover. Ultimately, we are hooked because step counting provides a clear, simple narrative of progress in an area of life, our health, that is notoriously complex and ambiguous. It feels good to meet a goal. It feels productive to see a number go up. The device on our wrist becomes a personal coach, a cheerleader, and a taskmaster all in one. It whispers promises of a better, healthier you, one step at a time. But as we will see, the simplicity that makes these devices so appealing is also their greatest flaw. The story they tell is often incomplete, misleading, and sometimes just plain wrong. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The data from your fitness tracker is not as accurate as you think. It's an estimate, an educated guess based on algorithms and sensors that are far from perfect. Take step counting, the cornerstone feature. A 2024 report highlighted that even market-leading devices like the Apple Watch can suffer from significant inaccuracies. A loose band, dirty sensors, or even incorrect height and weight information in your profile can lead to phantom steps. Your device might congratulate you for a brisk walk when you were simply typing vigorously at your desk or driving on a bumpy road. This creates a false sense of accomplishment, a digital pat on the back for activity that never happened. The inaccuracies extend far beyond just steps. Calorie tracking is notoriously unreliable. A meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that most trackers significantly underestimate energy expenditure during low-intensity activities. Conversely, they can be wildly inaccurate during intense exercise. Trusting these numbers to guide your diet is a recipe for frustration, as you could be creating a calorie deficit or surplus based on faulty information. This turns the promise of precise data-driven health management into a frustrating guessing game, where the numbers on your screen may bear little resemblance to your body's actual metabolic reality. Then there are the more advanced health metrics. While the ability of some watches to detect potential signs of atrial fibrillation, AFib, is a genuine medical advancement, it also comes with a cost. A 2023 study in the Journal of the American Heart Association noted that these alerts can foster obsessive monitoring and health anxiety, leading to unnecessary doctor visits. Other metrics are even less reliable. Blood oxygen readings, or SPO2, can be inconsistent, and while sleep tracking from brands like Oura is getting better, no consumer device can accurately diagnose a serious condition like sleep apnea. They can tell you that you were restless, but they can't tell you why. This data delusion is dangerous because it gives us a false sense of certainty. We believe we have an objective, scientific measure of our health, so we trust the device more than we trust our own bodies. We ignore feelings of fatigue because the watch says we slept well. We push through pain to close a ring because the algorithm demands it. We are outsourcing our intuition to a piece of technology that is, at best, a flawed guide. The first step toward a healthier relationship with our trackers is to accept their limitations and treat their data with a healthy dose of skepticism. It's a tool, not a doctor. The global obsession with step counting manifests in different ways across cultures, revealing both its potential and its pitfalls. In Japan, the birthplace of the 10,000-step goal, walking is deeply integrated into public health initiatives. The government has long promoted walking as a key to longevity, and many companies encourage employees to use pedometers. However, a recent 2023 to 2024 study emerging from Japan provided a sobering reality check. It found that while step-counting initiatives did increase daily walking, this increase alone did not lead to significant reductions in obesity or diabetes rates. The lesson was clear: steps are just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Without concurrent changes in diet and other lifestyle factors, walking more is simply not enough. On the other end of the spectrum is the Silicon Valley biohacker ethos, personified by figures like tech millionaire Brian Johnson. Johnson famously spends millions of dollars a year to meticulously track over 50 different biological metrics, from his sleep quality to his rate of aging, in a quest to reverse the clock. While his dedication is an extreme outlier, it represents the ultimate endpoint of the data-driven health narrative. The belief that with enough data, the human body can be optimized like a piece of software. This approach, however, is completely inaccessible and irrelevant to the vast majority of the global population. It promotes a hyper-individualistic and expensive vision of health that ignores the social and environmental determinants of well-being. In the United States, the situation is a paradox of data abundance and poor health outcomes. A 2024 CDC report revealed a telling statistic. While a staggering 60% of American wearable users primarily focus on their step goals, only 18% meet the recommended federal guidelines for exercise diversity, which include strength training, flexibility, and varied cardiovascular activity. This highlights the core problem of step obsession. Users feel a sense of accomplishment for hitting their step goal and may believe they have done enough for the day, while neglecting the types of exercise that are crucial for building muscle mass, protecting bone density, and maintaining a healthy metabolism as they age. These case studies, from the national public health campaigns of Japan to the individual extremism of Silicon Valley, paint a consistent picture. They show us that while tracking can successfully encourage more movement, it often fails to translate into meaningful, holistic health improvements. The focus becomes the metric itself, not the underlying goal of being truly healthy. Whether it's a nation walking more but not getting healthier, or a tech mogul chasing biological perfection, the lesson is the same. Data is not a substitute for a comprehensive, balanced, and sustainable approach to wellness. True health cannot be found in a single number. Focusing obsessively on a step count creates a massive blind spot that can obscure the most critical factors of your health. It's like staring at a single pixel on a screen and thinking you understand the entire movie. The biggest element missing from your daily step total is nutrition. You can walk 15,000 steps a day, but if your diet consists of highly processed foods, excessive sugar, and unhealthy fats, you're not building a foundation for long-term health. The tracker might give you a round of digital applause, but your arteries, your gut microbiome, and your metabolic system are telling a very different story. This false reassurance is one of the greatest dangers of step counting mania. Another crucial area that step counting completely ignores is mental and emotional well-being. Chronic stress is a silent killer, contributing to everything from heart disease to autoimmune disorders. Your tracker has no way of knowing that you hit your 10,000 steps while frantically worrying about a work deadline, arguing with a family member, or battling a wave of anxiety. It only sees movement. By rewarding the physical activity without acknowledging the mental context, the device can inadvertently teach us to disconnect from our emotional state. We learn to push through stress instead of addressing it, because the watch tells us we're having a good day. Furthermore, the quality and type of your movement matter far more than the sheer quantity of steps. As the CDC report indicated, a myopic focus on walking often leads to the neglect of other essential forms of exercise. Strength training is vital for maintaining muscle mass, which boosts metabolism and protects against injury. Flexibility and mobility work keeps our joints healthy and our bodies resilient. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, provides cardiovascular benefits that a leisurely stroll simply cannot match. Your step count tells you nothing about any of these things. It treats a slow shuffle to the kitchen the same as a vigorous hill climb, failing to capture the intensity, diversity, and purpose of your activity. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, your step count cannot diagnose disease. It cannot tell you if you have high blood pressure, developing insulin resistance, or a vitamin deficiency. It offers a surface-level snapshot of movement, which can create a dangerous illusion of health. Someone might feel vaguely unwell but dismiss it thinking, "How could I be sick? I hit my step goal every day this week." This reliance on a simplistic metric can delay people from seeking proper medical advice and getting a real diagnosis. The tracker's silence on these deeper issues is not neutral. It's a form of misinformation that can have serious consequences. While fitness trackers are marketed as tools for empowerment, they can easily become sources of anxiety, guilt, and obsessive behavior. The constant stream of data, the numbers, the graphs, the daily judgment, can transform a healthy intention into a stressful obligation. This is the dark side of gamification. When you fail to close your rings or fall short of your step goal, the device doesn't offer compassion. It simply records the failure. For many, this can trigger feelings of guilt and inadequacy. A day that should have been for rest and recovery is instead logged as a day of falling short, adding a layer of digital-induced stress to your life. This pressure can foster a state of hypervigilance, a kind of low-grade, persistent health anxiety. You become overly focused on the minutiae of the data, searching for meaning in every little fluctuation. As Dr. Sophie Schotter, a medical expert, notes, normal physiological changes like hormonal shifts in women can cause variations in metrics like heart rate or sleep quality. When viewed through the lens of a tracker, these perfectly normal changes can be misinterpreted as problems, triggering worry and unnecessary anxiety. The device that was meant to bring peace of mind ends up doing the exact opposite, making you question every beat of your heart and every hour of your sleep. This can quickly spiral into genuinely obsessive behavior. You might find yourself unable to enjoy a spontaneous walk without turning on the workout mode. Or you might feel a rising panic when you realize you forgot your watch at home, as if the untracked steps somehow don't count. The most common and humorous example is the frantic, last-minute pacing around the house to hit a goal. It's funny, yes, but it's also a sign that the technology is dictating your behavior in an irrational way. You're no longer walking for your health, you're walking for the algorithm. The line is crossed when the tracker stops serving you and you start serving it. Recognizing the warning signs is crucial. If you feel anxious when you can't track your activity, if you consistently prioritize hitting a digital target over listening to your body's need for rest, or if your mood is dictated by the numbers on your wrist, it might be time to take a break. The goal of wellness is to reduce stress, not create new forms of it. A healthy relationship with technology means knowing when to use it and, just as importantly, when to put it down. Your self-worth is not measured in steps, and your health is more than a number on a screen. Beyond the psychological costs, there is a more tangible price we pay for our wearable obsession, our data and our money. Every step you take, every hour you sleep, and every beat of your heart is collected, transmitted, and stored on a server somewhere. This is an unprecedented amount of sensitive personal health information. While companies have privacy policies, the sheer volume of data collected raises significant concerns. Where is this data going? Who has access to it? How is it being used to profile you for advertising or, more worrisomely, by insurance companies or employers? The convenience of the device often overshadows these critical questions about digital sovereignty. This data collection is the foundation of the business model. You might think you paid for the device, but in many cases, you are the product. Your aggregated, anonymized, well, we hope, data is incredibly valuable for market research, public health studies, and an array of other commercial purposes. While this can lead to positive developments, the lack of transparency is unsettling. We are contributing to a massive data ecosystem with very little understanding or control over how our most personal information is being monetized. The trade-off for a daily step count is participation in a vast surveillance apparatus that tracks our lives in intimate detail. Then there is the more direct financial cost subscription fatigue. Increasingly, wearable companies are adopting a freemium model. You buy the expensive hardware, only to discover that the most insightful analytics and advanced features are locked behind a recurring monthly or annual paywall. Brands like Whoop, Oura, and Amazfit require subscriptions to unlock the full potential of the device you already own. This creates a two-tiered system of health tracking, where those who can afford the ongoing fees get more detailed insights, while others are left with the basic and often less useful metrics. This trend is leading to significant user fatigue. Consumers are already juggling subscriptions for streaming services, software, and news. Adding another monthly fee just to understand your own health data feels like an endless shakedown. It undermines the initial promise of an accessible health tool and turns it into another recurring expense. This hidden price, both in terms of privacy and perpetual payments, is a critical part of the conversation. Before strapping on the latest device, we must consider the long-term cost, not just to our wallets, but to our personal autonomy in the digital age. So should you throw your fitness tracker in the bin? Not necessarily. These devices can still be powerful tools for motivation and awareness, provided you use them mindfully and strategically. The first and most important step is to demote your tracker from a doctor to a guide. Treat its data as a suggestion, not a diagnosis. Use it to spot broad trends over weeks or months, rather than obsessing over daily fluctuations. For example, if your resting heart rate is consistently trending upward over a month, that might be a useful signal to examine your stress levels or sleep patterns. It's about seeing the forest, not getting lost in the individual trees. Second, adopt a holistic health approach that goes far beyond a single metric. Use the tracker as one data point among many. Pair its information with a conscious focus on nutrition, stress management, and sleep hygiene. Make a deliberate effort to diversify your exercise routine. Don't just walk. Incorporate strength training 2 to 3 times a week. Add in flexibility work like yoga or stretching, and vary your cardio. A truly healthy lifestyle is a balanced one, and no single number on a watch can capture that balance. You have to build it yourself, using the tracker as a minor assistant, not the primary architect. Third, diversify the metrics you pay attention to on the device itself. Move beyond the tyranny of the 10,000 steps. Instead, focus on more insightful indicators of recovery and overall health. Heart rate variability and resting heart rate are often better indicators of your body's stress levels and readiness for exertion. Tracking your sleep duration and consistency can be far more impactful than hitting an arbitrary movement goal. By shifting your focus to these more nuanced metrics, you can start using the device to learn about your body's recovery cycles, which is a much smarter way to guide your activity levels. Finally, practice mindful use and be willing to take breaks. If you find the data is causing you anxiety, take the watch off for a few days. Go for a walk simply for the pleasure of it, with no goal other than to enjoy the fresh air. Listen to your body's own signals of fatigue, energy, and hunger. The ultimate goal is to cultivate a strong internal sense of your own well-being, using technology as a supplement, not a substitute. By setting these boundaries, you can harness the motivational power of your tracker without succumbing to its psychological pitfalls. We are at a crossroads in our relationship with personal health technology. The global obsession with step counting, fueled by billions of wearable devices, has successfully encouraged more people to move. This is a genuinely positive outcome that should not be dismissed. However, this same obsession has created a culture of reductive wellness, where the complex, beautiful, and messy reality of human health is flattened into a single, often misleading number. We have allowed a marketing slogan from the 1960s to become a digital commandment, and in our blind obedience, we risk missing what truly matters. We chase steps while ignoring our diet, our stress, and our need for diverse, purposeful movement. The solution is not to reject technology, but to engage with it more intelligently. We must arm ourselves with a healthy dose of skepticism, understanding that our trackers are flawed, fallible guides. They are not medical devices, and their data is an estimate, not gospel. The false reassurance they provide can be dangerous, masking underlying issues and discouraging us from seeking real medical advice. The psychological toll, the anxiety, the guilt, the obsessive checking, is real and can undermine the very well-being we seek to improve. We must be conscious of the price we pay in both personal data and subscription fees. The path forward requires a conscious shift in mindset. It's time to reclaim our health from the algorithm. This means using your tracker as a tool, not a tyrant. It means prioritizing a holistic view of health that encompasses nutrition, mental well-being, sleep quality, and exercise diversity. It means listening to your body above all else. Your intuition, your energy levels, and your mood are far more sophisticated biosensors than anything you can buy and strap to your wrist. Let the tracker be a source of occasional motivation, not constant validation. Here is your call to action. First, diversify your goals beyond steps. Focus on weekly minutes of varied activity, including strength and flexibility. Second, schedule regular tech-free days to reconnect with your body's natural signals. Third, use data to spot long-term trends, not to judge daily performance. Finally, and most importantly, remember that you are the expert on your own body. No app, gadget, or algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. Take a walk because it feels good, not to appease a device. Rest when you are tired, not when an app gives you permission. Build a life of genuine, vibrant health, one mindful, untracked step at a time.